Yeah. I want to share another cool story. So something, and this came up when I was talking to another volunteer this afternoon, and it's something that I've been learning here at the Option Institute that Barry Neal Kaufman teaches, and also that I was learning earlier this summer at the Omega Institute, taking the class Hidden School Open Path with Dan Millman. And so the concept is everybody is doing the best that they can do at any given moment, given their beliefs, their predisposition, their whatever it is, their perception of life. So there's always going to be someone in every audience that goes, well, what about serial killers? Because they're not doing the best that they can do in the moment, and they're bad people. So that what I thought was amazing that Dan Millman said is their brains are hardwired like that. We may not like that they killed people, but their brains are actually hardwired that it to them it's a compulsive thing that they need to do. So just like someone might have an addiction to something, their brain is wired to be addicted to that substance or addicted to that activity. Just like people with mental illness, their brains are structured to perceive the world in a different way. So schizophrenia doesn't make someone a bad person. It just means they have a different way of perceiving the world. They get a different lens that they look through, a different filter that they're looking through. And so to them, their world is very real. The serial killers, that world is very real. So and Dan shared with us the story of a serial killer in jail was like, I really didn't want to kill those people. I just didn't want to, but there was something in me driving me to do it. And I want you, when I die, I want you to like do an autopsy and analyze my brain and figure out what is going on in there. And so they found out that the brain is actually hardwired um, to work that way. And so serial killers have a certain wiring of their brain. And I mean, if you want to go on a tangent, it's interesting to think that people's brains are wired a certain way, and maybe eventually we can look at the way that people's brains are wired and stop those habits before they manifest into reality. But the thing is about the hardwiring of your brain is that you can change it. You can change. So people say that it's hard to change beliefs or that it's hard to change habits. But habits and beliefs are just a hardwiring in your brain. It's the way that your brain automatically thinks because it's the way that it works. So it goes a little something like this. So habits, they say, take between 21 to 28 days to create a new habit, to establish a new habit. Um, and those, because you're repeating them over and over again, it creates this new neural pathway in your brain. So neurons are firing off everywhere, and there's this new pathway. So if you can think of the analogy of when you're sledding down a hill, right? The first time you sled down the hill, you're like, like you got to use your hands and feet to get down the hill because the snow hasn't compacted yet. But then, like the 10th time you're going down, you're just flying down the hill because you've smoothed out a pathway, and it becomes easier. So that's what your brain is doing when it comes up with new habits, is it's creating this groove so that your neurons can automatically do that. And that's why you don't have to think about it anymore. So really what it is, in each moment you're making a decision. And even if you're not conscious of the decision, you're still making a decision to do something. So if you become aware of what you're doing and you start to make a conscious decision to change, give yourself time, keep repeating that and keep making that conscious change, and eventually your brain will actually rewire itself and restructure itself to form this new habit and to change the way that you look at things. So something that I'm learning here at the Option Institute is choosing happiness. And so when so the model is stimulus, belief, response, right? So a stimulus being a circumstance or event, a response being the way that you react to something. So most people go, it's raining outside, this sucks. Or my boss critiqued me, what a jerk, and you get angry, or maybe you send a nasty email to a coworker about your boss. But they take up this middle step of there's a belief. Why am I angry? Why am I upset? And it's rain is bad, so I get upset. Um, my boss doesn't like me, or I'm not a good employee, so I'm angry. And it's when there's those little judgments, those little beliefs in the middle that lead you to the end result that we just aren't aware of. So now It's for me taking the time, okay, I'm upset. And it goes back to this, but this didn't make me upset. It's what I'm believing about it that's making me upset. So I'm upset about breaking up with my boyfriend before I came here. Well, it's not that we broke up that bothers me. It's not even it's not anything about the breakup. It's like I'm judging myself for spending 2 years with someone who wasn't a good fit for me. So and so if I'm thinking, oh, I'm not that was stupid, right? Of course I'm going to feel like, wow, I'm a moron, and then feel badly about it. But if I can change it to those 2 years of like grade A learning experiences that I get to take away from this, and then I can be happy about it and be like, woo. And I mean, it's also not judging myself for when I am unhappy, because sure, we choose happiness, we choose unhappiness, we choose which beliefs we take on and which beliefs we kind of give away. But it's okay to be unhappy sometimes. You can be like, I'm doing unhappiness. I'm choosing unhappiness. Like, I'm believing this thing that makes me unhappy, and I'm not ready to change it yet. And that's the other thing I'm working on is like, it's okay to be unhappy sometimes, and you can choose it and be in control of it, but it's still okay that it's there. So think about that. The brain is amazing. You can change the way that you look at the world. You can change the way that you react to things. You're totally in control of your own life. Um, and just ponder how amazing that is and how that applies to you in your world, because it is astounding and out of this world and unbelievable, but it is believable. Um, and that's it.